Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Golden State Warriors Draymond Green slaps New York Knicks with harsh truth bomb, it's a fluke. Golden State Warriors news, the New York Knicks came up with a massive win on Tuesday night in Game 5 of their second-round matchup against the Indiana Pacers. By blowing out the Pacers, 121-91, the Knicks are now just one win away from booking their place in the Eastern Conference Finals. Warriors star Draymond Green, however, is not impressed. Green decided to rain on the Knicks' parade on Tuesday night. The Warriors veteran was part of the NBA on TNT broadcast team, and he had some choice words for New York. Apparently, Green doesn't believe that this season is proof that the Knicks are a legitimate threat for the title. Why do Knicks fans think I hate the Knicks though? I told the truth about the team. And the truth about the team is, it's a fluke, he said. I'm not entirely sure why Green is still questioning why Knicks fans hate him. After all, he did come out with a savagely hot take on their team's success this season. To be fair, Green expounded on his point by looking at recent history. He turned his gaze on the Atlanta Hawks and the Portland Trail Blazers, who were both set up after one successful season. Things did not play out for either team after that one postseason run, and Green believes that this is going to be the case for the Knicks as well. Ray Allen sees similarities with Warriors' Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is one of the best sharpshooters of his generation. The Golden State Warriors wing has helped his team win 4 championships. However, at this late stage of his career, the veteran shooter is starting to see his role within the rotation change, and he could move into a full-time bench role in the near future. Nevertheless, Thompson's scoring ability is well respected. During a recent interview with Brandon Scoop B. Robinson on the Scoop B Radio podcast, former NBA champion Ray Allen admitted he sees similarities between his game and that of Thompson's. I've always been impressed with him, Allen said. I always thought that he was one of the best players in the league. He mirrors kind of the way I played. During his prime, Allen was one of the best shooters in the NBA. His shooting form was picture-perfect and he often found himself replicating his mechanics multiple times per night. Throughout his career, Thompson has shown a consistency that ensured he's viewed as an elite talent in the NBA. That same consistency will be why he has multiple suitors when he hits the unrestricted free agent market in the summer. Golden State will undoubtedly want to keep their perimeter scorer around long-term. Whether they're able to do so will be a major talking point in the coming months. The Golden State Warriors are entering an off-season of uncertainty. The last 2 seasons have proven that they are not title contenders as currently constructed. Perhaps that could signal that trades could be on the horizon in the Bay Area. If the Warriors do make some trades, that would put a bigger emphasis on retaining their players in free agency. There are at least 2 such members of their roster that qualify, and Golden State should make sure they retain them. Golden State's biggest question to answer this offseason very well could be what they do with Klay Thompson. Thompson is not the franchise pillar that Steph Curry is, but he is close. He's been there from the beginning and has 4 championships and a number of big moments under his belt. Thompson is also still a useful player. He isn't the defensive ace he was in his prime, but his frame allows him to defend multiple positions capably. Thompson is still one of the best shooters in the NBA. His shooting percentages, 43.2% from the field and 38.7% from 3, were about the same as his career percentages, 45.3% and 41.3%. He continues to be a major threat in big moments with his jumper. But his asking price as a free agent could be what determines his future in the Bay. He is not worth the $40 million he was making this past season. Thompson's play the last 2 seasons, especially in the postseason, was far too inconsistent to be making that type of money. Including his performance in the Warriors' play-in tournament loss to Sacramento a month ago, Thompson has shot 85 to 229 from the field in his previous 2 postseasons. that number dwindles to a paltry 14 to 66, 21.21% over his last 5 postseason games. Not only has Thompson failed to perform in the postseason lately, but the Warriors also have young players who need minutes. Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, and Tracy Jackson-Davis all played well last season. They proved they deserve playing time and need more minutes to accelerate their development. While that is true, none of them compare to Thompson, even at his advanced age, as a shooter. Golden State's identity has revolved around Curry, Green, and Thompson all together. It wouldn't be the same without one of them. If the Warriors and Thompson's camp can make the financials work, both sides should work to make a deal happen. The majority of the Warriors' roster from this season is under contract for next season, but there is another player who is poised to become a free agent that they should want to retain. That would be guard Lester Quinones. Quinones has largely played in the G League during his tenure in Golden State, but flashed two-way potential this season. He shot 36.4% from 3 on solid volume, 8 threes per 36 minutes, and gets after it defensively. Quinones really was able to showcase these skills at Summer League last season. Quinones would primarily serve as depth for the Warriors, but they could use all the depth they can find, especially if moves are on the horizon. He fits their system with his ability to shoot and move without the ball and wouldn't cost a whole lot to be retained. Quinones was upgraded from a two-way contract to a standard NBA one during the 2023-24 season. The Warriors believe in his ability, and he has shown progress in their program since going undrafted in 2022. Quinones can help this team in the future. The Warriors would be wise to keep him around. Proposed trade of former All-Star would be ultimate buy low deal for Warriors. The Golden State Warriors' hunt for a significant difference-maker this offseason will likely take major trade assets, with the franchise's young players and future draft assets potentially on the table as they explore greater help for Stephen Curry. It will be fascinating to see how willing the Warriors are to sacrifice their future for win-now help, but perhaps there's a way the franchise can obtain a star while retaining much of its young core. One player already reported to be available this offseason is Brandon Ingram, with the New Orleans Pelicans expected to move on from the 26-year-old and the combination he and star forward Zion Williamson. With two anonymous executives floating Golden State as a potential destination for Ingram, Sporting News' Stephen No has proposed a trade that would see the 2020 All-Star move to the Warriors for Chris Paul, Moses Moody, and first-round picks in 2025 and 2028. This seems like a low price for an offensive talent like Ingram, but perhaps it's a sign of his deteriorating value following a disastrous first-round playoff series where he averaged 14.3 points on less than 35% shooting from the floor. No also points out that Paul could hold legitimate value to the Pelicans, with the 39-year-old's $30 million contract needing to become guaranteed in order for the trade to occur. Paul is nowhere near the player he was in his first go-around with the then Hornets. But he is still very capable of organizing an offense. He maintained a stellar assist-to-turnover ratio, and he will set Zion up for the easiest baskets of his life. Regardless of the Pelicans' potential interest in Paul, this seems like a bargain price for Ingram, who averaged 20.8 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 5.7 assists this season. It would create a loaded front court for Golden State with Ingram, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green and Tracy Jackson-Davis, yet maybe they'd package or two of those in another deal during the offseason. Given the Pelicans' desire to improve and ideally find an upgrade from Ingram, it's hard to envisage them going for this trade package unless they had another deal in the works with the assets acquired. It appears like a worthwhile deal for the Warriors, though it would require them to pay up on a hefty new contract extension for the former second overall pick. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Ingram? Leave your opinion in the comments.